Legal victory first. For the Duke of Sussex today, Prince Harry will be allowed to challenge the Home Office over his security arrangements for him and his family when they're in the UK. A High Court judgment handed down today means the case can go forward to a judicial review. The government had ruled in 2020 that the Sussexes weren't allowed to pay for their own police protection when they're visiting from the US. Well, I'm joined in the studio by our royal editor, Sarah Hewson, with a few other bits of royal news around today too. But, Sarah, on this one, success for Prince Harry. He didn't get everything he wanted, did he? But he still wants to fight these things.
It's a partial victory, Tom, and it is a step forward for Prince Harry versus the Home Office. It has been a long-running legal dispute, and it's by no means over yet. The judge, Mr Justice Swift at the High Court today, has deemed that 4 parts of Harry's case are arguable, therefore they can proceed and be challenged in court. And that was that the decisions that were made by Ravec, this is the committee, by its full name, the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, they made decisions that Harry's legal team argue were legally unreasonable and that he should have been told about their policies before they made their decisions. Where he wasn't successful, where the part that was ruled out, was on the makeup of that committee. Now, Harry's legal team had argued that the Queen's private secretary, Sir Edward Young, shouldn't have been on that committee, that it should have been independent and he shouldn't have been involved in the decision. They said there were significant tensions between the pair. The judge, though, ruled that out, and he said in the course of submissions, it became apparent that while the claimant may have had disagreements with persons who were Ravec committee members, there was no evidence at all to support a claim that any committee member had approached decisions with a closed mind. Ultimately, it was accepted for the claimant that no such case was or could be advanced. In terms of those tensions, Tom, this is interesting. You'll remember Prince Harry returned to the UK, visited the Queen just ahead of the Invictus Games, and then he went on US television, gave that interview where he made a cryptic remark about wanting to ensure the Queen had the right people around her. We don't know exactly what he meant by that, but there's been a lot of speculation, and much of that was that this was a veiled dig at Sir Edward Young, the Queen's private secretary. That does appear to have been given credence by these legal submissions today. Next stage, though, a full High Court hearing.
And the reason he wants to take the government to court, it's no minor thing whether a senior member of the royal family, albeit not a working one, who wants to take the government to court, is what?
Look, this goes back to the decision that Prince Harry would lose his taxpayer-funded police protection when he and Meghan stepped down as working royals and moved to the United States. He has private security in the US, but he argues that when he comes back to the UK, that's not sufficient. He needs the protection of the Metropolitan Police and the intelligence sharing that goes on around that. The decision that they would come back for the Queen's Jubilee was only made once he was assured he was going to get adequate protection. And he cited an incident back in 2021. He returned for the unveiling of the statue of his mother alongside his brother. He says his car was chased by photographers after he left at a charity event. And he says it's not safe at all for his family to be here. And that, of course, chasing of a car by photographers is particularly sensitive and a real concern for Harry, given what happened to his mother.
OK, a few other bits and bobs. We've had the announcement today. I think we're expecting that Prince Charles will step in for the Queen at the Commonwealth Games next week. But some slightly brighter news. Someone's had a birthday today.
Prince George, 9 today. Can you believe it? And his birthday marked by the Irish Guards performing Happy Birthday at Buckingham Palace. Also marked by a photo taken, as has now become traditional, by his mum. And it was on a beach in the UK. They took a family holiday after the children broke up from school. And it's a pretty big year ahead for Prince George, because he's left his school, Thomas's Battersea, for the last time. He's going to be starting a new school in Berkshire in September, and they're going to be moving to Adelaide Cottage on the Windsor estate. But this was his Happy Birthday rendition from the Irish Guards earlier on today.
Not bad, is it? To get a band like that
playing I don't get that, do we?
No, I get the odd sing-song from my kids. You probably do too, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Maybe my mum and dad, if I'm lucky.
Down the end of a telephone.
Yeah.